Hi Sagittarius, thanks for watching. This is a spiritual horoscope, so please take what resonates and release the rest. We'll get started with some runes and then we'll clarify with some cards. So let's jump in. Whoa, which one just fell? Alright, so you've got Ingus that fell. Alright, so with Ingus, it represents fertility. So how I want to explain this one, it's not necessarily a baby, but it's more that there's a project that you're starting. And it's almost like you're in the final stages of it actually, and you're waiting to see how it'll all come together in the end. Because I feel you put in a lot of work into this. Alright, look at all of these. Alright, let's talk. Whoa, things are just falling all over. Alright, so you've got Pertho. So Pertho represents like the initiation. So I feel like with these final stages that you're in here, it will open up to something new that will start. And you need to trust your judgment for this new start here, because you're wrapping something up here with this change that's coming in. Is you really need to trust your judgment and use all this experience that you gained here will then help you through this next phase. And you've got Ansus. So Ansus represents like looking for the universe, asking for signs that you're in the right direction. And so Ansus, like you need to let in that energy in terms of letting in that universe, talking to your loved ones on the other side, and you'll be surprised at how they answer you. And this is where they'll help guide you with this new phase that you're on here. All right, so let's keep going. So you've got Gabo. So Gabo represents relationships. So in this situation, with this new phase that you're in here, as you're wrapping something up here, you want to make sure that you have the balance, because like mentioned how you spent a lot of time working through this here. You need to find the balance, and with your, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your family, like this can represent so many different people within your life, but it's finding that balance in terms of you want to invest and spend so much time with this next phase, but you want to make sure you have that balance. And you've got Rado. So Rado is all about a journey. So you're wrapping something up and starting something new kind of at the same time, but this is where that balance comes in, because there's so much that you're needing to do across both. And finding that balance with the people in your life will be very key. And you've got Wunyo, and Wunyo represents happiness. So you will find that balance as you're finishing one thing, starting up something else. And I feel with this journey here that there's multiple steps to it. There's multiple things you need to do. And this is where Rado is all part of that journey. But in the end, look, you're happy. Everything will be okay. Let's go on to some cards now. What does Sagittarius need to know? What can we bring in and clarify for Sagittarius? You've got the void. So the void, it feels like, because like we talked about, like striking that balance between the people in your life and the things that you're working on. So right now, if you don't strike that balance, what the universe is saying, there will be that void, there will be like that gap. But asking for the universe for help, for signs that you're in the right direction, will let things fall into its place. And look, we talked about here how there's a new start, and look, you've got the first card of the deck, you've got number 1. So there is a change coming in, but the universe is saying you really need to strike that balance at this time to avoid feeling the void. Because like if you're spending too much time working and doing all these things, that's where you may alienate the people in your life. And this is where in the long run, that's not what you want. Like being here is all about the love and all that good stuff. So this is where like work is work. There's always work. This is why we have jobs. So this is where you can't lose sight of the people in your life that are important to you. and you've got the masculine. So the way I like to explain this card is you've got the 2 stakes in the ground, and then you've got the different phases of the moon. So this is where everything will fall into its place when it's the right time, is what this card is telling us. But you need to trust the universe, ask for signs, and along this journey that you're on, but you will go from one phase to another. And this is where like you're in that transition of finishing something and starting something else, but you're in that transition period. But trust that everything will fall into its place when it's the right time. And look here, so we talked about here making sure you strike the balance with your family and the people around you and your partner. And look here, you've got the 2 silhouettes of 2 people holding their hands. So this is where you do need to strike that balance. You need to make sure you invest into your relationship and not spend all your time working, because there's more to life than just work. Like, don't get me wrong, work is important, but at the end of the day, there's always work to do. So this is where your loved ones are so important, and to make sure you cherish and spend time with them. And you've got discernment. How I want to explain this one is because you're in that limbo phase of finishing off something and starting something else. This is where it's like your head's in the clouds. You're dreaming and spending so much time on what things can look like and what that end result can be. You need to come down to reality. You will be the master of your situation, but you need to really strike that balance. And like, you've got, how I want to explain this, that this is your love, this is your core, and you want to make sure you take good care of it. But like with all these phases that you're on here, like you've got 1 and you've got 10. So here, the way you want to avoid the void here. But in the end, if you take good care of things, like you have all this love and you're holding it close to you, and you get your head out of the clouds and stop. Daydreaming isn't a bad thing. It helps keep you motivated, but you really need to strike that balance. And in the end, look, you've got happiness. You will be okay. But that balance is very important. And you've got fear. So in this case, how I want to explain fear is that, like, it's almost that a fear that if you don't spend as much time doing all these things for work, that it's not going to pan out in the end. But this is where, let go of that fear. Trust the universe has your back. They know the bigger plan that's at play that we don't quite understand yet. And you will shine. You will be okay. But trust the universe in this change that you're in. And look, you've got the happiness in the end. But just trust, have a balance, and the happiness will come through. All right, this is what I have for you at this time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.